This is, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Yes. So, welcome to Entrepreneurial Snacks. This is episode 2. We hope you're all staying safe and healthy. We're excited to have you here with us. Just to introduce myself, my name is Luisa Barbosa, and along with Stefania Lopez, we run the Entrepreneurial Committee at Alpha. And Snacks, it's a series of 6 episodes of entrepreneurial snacks where we're launching professional tools to help professionals, and all of them are easy to digest and apply to your own business. So, just talking a little bit about Alpha, we have like a local and a national presence here in the US and in Boston. Our mission is to provide opportunities for leadership development, community engagement, and networking for Latino men and women in the greater Boston area. We have a lot of different membership options, could be corporate, basic, gold, and platinum. And we welcome all of you to join Alpha. So, to start this amazing series of the second episode, I want to introduce to everyone Dolores, who is talking about how to adjust your business in time of crisis. Dolores?
Thank you, Luisa. Thank you for inviting me, and thank you for hosting these snacks. I think it's we are in a time where there is a lot of redesigning. So I'm happy to be presenting today. So here's how we're going to do this. Feel free. I am reading the chat actively. So as we start the presentation, and Luisa will be kind of doing the slides for me. As we start the presentation, just feel free to chat along. And if you have any questions, I know Estefania and Luisa will be collecting questions for the end. But if I can catch it and read it, then it's going to be a lot more entertaining. So let's get started, Luisa. So we are, at the time of this entrepreneurial snack, we find ourselves, at least here in Massachusetts, where Luisa, Stefania, and I live. We are in the beginning stages of the re-entry and whatever that's going to look like. But for the most part, we are all feeling this disconnect from the world. We are either working remotely in our jobs, or we are separated from our market, or we feel separated from our market if we're running a business. But to some extent, we are in this space of how do we connect and how do we continue business as usual. And I would like you to type in the chat, yes, just write yes if that's how you feel right now. And Luisa, let's move on to the next one. And so, what are questions that you're asking yourself, and whether you have them in the forefront, but I want you to type in the chat, what are some questions that you ask yourself, like, how do I get clients online? How do I make a sale without having a meeting with my client? How do I keep my team working in an efficient way? I'm sure these are some of the questions you're asking yourself in this time of crisis. So, Lisa. And many of you, I know I have felt. Abby says, how do I find clients online? Great, Abby, we'll definitely talk about that. Many of us have had some long days where we bang our head against the table, right? Or after many coffees. Yes, burnout, Simon, that's absolutely real. We actually have gone home and brought our work home, and now we have no boundaries. So we're definitely going to talk about that. Thank you, Lisa. But I do believe that even if we feel like we're shooting or throwing spaghetti to the wall and we are not sure how to proceed, Luisa, I'm going to just go like this. What is the next one, okay? I do believe that we have a way to really streamline our work and create healthy boundaries and be efficient processes and methodologies that can keep our businesses and our jobs running as usual. And I also believe that we can lift this economy and continue doing business online. and obviously hit our targets month to month. So I'm going to introduce to you 10 ways to run your business virtually. We're going to talk about how to connect, how to connect with your clients, how to collaborate with your clients real time, how to track your team's time and your own time so that you can start setting, like Simon says, setting some boundaries, healthy boundaries in your work at home status that we are all. We're going to talk about team communications, project management, scheduling, online business platforms, email marketing systems, online payment systems, and virtual signing. So let's get on with the presentation. So just before we start, I want to give you a little bit of background on where I come from. I have been in the world of business for over 30 years. I'm originally from Buenos Aires. I live here in the US, and I have started multiple businesses like Masters in Clarity or White Knot Apps or Dolores Hirschmann before Masters in Clarity. But I've also been in the nonprofit world with Nifty, and I've been a TEDx organizer as well as being a mentor for startup projects at E4All, Next CP Labs, and Startup Weekend. Let's go to the next one. So let's start with connectivity. I think you guys have all figured out Zoom because we are using Zoom for this meeting, but there's a lot other platforms that we could use that have become available right now. But the one thing I want to say is when we're running virtual business, it is important to not just have online connectivity with our market and our team, but to make sure that we're using our cameras. I know this particular event, we are on kind of webinar format, so you can only see Estefania, Luisa, and myself. But one of the things that is important strategically as you hop into meetings is to always be camera ready. And when I say camera ready, you don't have to have makeup. I actually don't have any makeup today. You don't have to be well all produced, so you don't have to worry about that. But you have to show up as if you were showing up to a meeting in person. And you have to kind of respect these platforms and replicate that dynamics of in-person meetings. Let's go to the next one. The other thing of how do we connect with our target audience, we want to understand which are the platforms where our market and our clients, where do they hang out, and so that we can start creating opportunities for us to connect with them in a more traditional way. You want to connect as if you were in a coffee shop. Even if you are hanging out in LinkedIn, you know, step away from the general post or just commenting on a post and send a private message so that you can start having more one-on-one conversation. Simon says the background needs to be organized and sharp. I hope mine is okay today, Simon, and that's absolutely true. You want to have, so when you're doing online meetings like this in camera, you're kind of having a meeting at your home. Like literally, you just moved a work meeting and you invite them into your office or your living room at home. So you want to remember that, would my room look like this if the person was in person sitting in front of me? So if you, as long as you keep that perspective, you'll then do whatever you need to do to be organized and not cluttered. So one of the things that I always talk about in virtual connectivity is that because it's virtual, it doesn't mean it's not human and connected. So it's almost like I want you to think about, like, forget that there's a screen and that there's a real person on the other side. And so respect the rules of in-person meetings, just using a screen. I see Ileana joining us. Awesome. So it was Abby who asked, how do you find clients online? One of the best ways to connect with your market online these days is to taking advantage of all of the online stages available in the marketplace. Just what we're doing right now, this is an online webinar. Yes, I would have loved to meet you in person, but by doing this, A, we can accommodate more people probably from around the world, and B, we can actually maximize all of our times. So Abby, and for all of those that in a sales position, whether for a company or for your company, it is important for you to be showing up in online stages, and they don't have to be big stages. It can be 10 people, 20 people. I actually did another presentation earlier today, and I think we had 25 women in that one. It was a women's forum, and we had a conversation for an hour, and I answered questions for an hour. So honestly, this is actually prime showtime and prime time for you to start connecting with more people than you ever thought possible online. Because the truth is that the advantage of online is that I would never in a normal day when we were going to everything in person, I would never do 2 networking events in one day, plus do my job. Today, it's a Wednesday. I've done one at lunchtime and one this evening, and I still did my full days of work. So the amount of opportunities to connect with human beings right now using digital formats is exponential. So don't miss that opportunity. So let's talk about collaborating real time. I'm sure you guys are familiar with Dropbox or Google Docs. If you use Microsoft Teams in your company, there's a lot of features in there. But here's what I want to say about this. Whether you're working with your clients or with your team, it is important when you're working virtually. And this, Simon, is answering a little bit your question about burnout. One of the things that is important is to become really efficient with the management of back and forth documents and communication. And we're going to talk about a few tools. But type me on the chat if you feel that the amount of information, your inbox, your text, and any form of communication you have has been overwhelmingly busy and noisy, meaning that you have more documents, more messages, and more emails than you've ever had. Just type me in the chat if that's you. And that is because part of it is how we manage the communication between our market, our clients, and also between our teams. And when you take away the in-person interaction, and you turn every one of those like little interactions you had through the day into a Slack or an email or a text. Jorge is saying, I'm getting more than normal digital traffic for the past 3 months. Yes, A, you're getting emails from everybody who wants your attention, but B, internally, it takes a lot more back and forth to solve a problem. So in my team, like it is actually forbidden to send a document by email. We just don't. All of our interaction happens in one document where the team that is collaborating has to tag each other in the document, but we never send it by email. Because every time we send a document by email, we just waste a lot of time. So let's go next. Which brings us to time tracking. So whether you are working with a team or you're running your own business, when the team is not in person at the office, you can no longer know what people are working on and how much time they're dedicating to it. So one of the things that is important, especially running virtual teams, is to track the time, specifically the time spent on each task, not just the time at work, but clock in and clock out when you're working on a project, so that the manager for that project and you can actually analyze, how long did it take for me to finish this? So for you, Simon, that you're feeling the burnout, understanding how much time are you allocating to each project, and where are you maybe burning extra time that doesn't need to be, and where is the time wasters, is a really important part of this. The other thing on time management that I want to say, I have been working from home for over 20 years. So for me, COVID didn't change anything, actually. As far as where my commute hasn't changed. Actually, no, it has. There's more traffic. All my children, I have 4 children, they're all home having breakfast at the same time. Lunch is high traffic. I used to be able to grab a salad from the fridge in a minute. Now I have to go through the dogs, my husband, and the 4 children. So actually, my commute has changed. But But the truth is, Simon, one of the things that is important, and I'm picking on Simon because he brought up this topic, but when you work from home, you want to be really disciplined in the space where you allocate for work. And if it's a small house or a small apartment that you're living in, just create a corner where it is when you sit on that chair, that's work time. But then try to respect working hours. If it's 9 to 5, it's 9 to 5. If it's 10 to 6, whatever it is. And then when the day is over, the day is over. I'm lucky enough to have my own office. So I close this door and I literally do not come in here until Monday morning from Friday night. And I try to actually leave my phone downstairs and in my office at night. So that, here's the thing, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a surgeon, I'm not a stockbroker, I'm not the president of the United States. So if I miss an email, no children will bleed and no nuclear war will start. So I actually give myself permission to put it off. And other than cutting it short with Luisa and Estefania, and they were freaking out to see if I was going to show up. Other than that, I pretty much show up for my appointments and then I relax, right? So it's like having that personal boundary and that confidence that you're good. You finish your day, you close for the day, you go have your personal life. Type in any questions you might have in the Slack. And Luisa, how much time do we have? Remind me. Is it 6 o'clock?
Yeah, we have 15 minutes more, and I would say maybe 10 minutes. So we leave 5 minutes for questions.
Great. So let's talk about team communications. If you're using text and inbox for communicating with your team, stop and get us. I use Slack. You can use anything else, but Slack is great. Grab a free Slack account. I'll show you how to use it in the next slide. You want to use Slack for managing your conversation channels, managing your conversation threads, team sharing, and information flow. One of the things that actually we've done, and you can do the next slide, Luisa, if you want, is we've implemented something called daily report, where every day my team posts, these are the 3 things that I accomplished or not accomplished yesterday. And these are the 3 things I'm working on today. And these are the obstacles I have. It's easy for me as kind of the team leader to look at the daily reports and see what everybody's doing and where they might need support. So that's another great way to use Slack. Project management, another tool. Now, this depends how big your team is, but the bigger the team, the more you want to have organized processes for working together. We talked about Google Docs as a way of real-time collaboration. Any of these tools, and there are more, of course, are another great way for tracking longer-term projects, like quarterly projects or monthly projects. So let's go next. I'm gonna go fast. Scheduling. If you are, especially now in virtual remote work, if you find yourself having to exchange more than 1 or 2 emails to find a time to connect with anybody, with your team, with a potential networking opportunity or a client, then implement one of the online scheduling tools like Calendly is what we use. Many of them are free at the beginning, so there is no reason to go back and forth on email to set an appointment. Next is online business platforms. If you are a service entrepreneur, you could be an accountant, a financial advisor, a marketer, whatever it is that you do, and you're doing one-on-one work with your clients, I urge you to start creating your online learning. Here's what online learning is. Every time you go on a call with a client and you find yourself repeating something you just told another client a minute ago, that piece of information is part of your online program. Record it, write it on a PDF, put it on an online platform, and keep it there. Here's one thing I learned this week. I didn't know this. Google Docs now has websites that you can build. So I am in a project where we're doing webinars monthly, and I built in maybe 5 minutes, I built a website with Google, put the webinar there, the recording, and sent it to to our clients. It took me no time and it was free. And now the information is properly organized. Let's go next. Okay, this I know, what was it? I think it was Jorge says that he's getting a lot of digital traffic. It is that time to implement some email marketing tools. If you're communicating with your clients from your Gmail or your inbox, you're probably having to do it one by one. And if you do it in a massive way, you're not personalizing them. So I urge you to look at MailChimp or Constant Contact or any of these tools that will allow you to stay in touch with your clients. Many of us have been having to connect with our clients in the re-entry plans. So it's important to have a system for communicating in an effective way. Next, I think we're almost done. We have two more. Many of you are familiar with this. I just want to bring them to your attention. We now have amazing amount of options when getting paid online. So if you are pivoting your business, even if you have a curbside store that now is doing curbside business, I encourage you to use any of these or Venmo or other online platforms to be able to accept payment. Last but not least, there is so many tools right now to accomplish your legal needs. We use, I think we use HelloSign and Masters in Clarity, but any of these work. LegalZoom is a great way. If you're finding yourself that you're about to start a business, go to LegalZoom and open an LLC. I did one of those last week because I just opened a new one. So I do believe that it's all about moving how it's not about what we can't do, but asking yourself what can we do online right now? And it's also asking how can you and me serve? This is the conversation that we're having right now in the marketplace. And Luisa, go ahead. Is that if you show up and serve the client, serve your market at a highest level, then business is going to continue. It's not just going to continue, it's going to thrive and grow. So with that, I want to open for questions. Did I go past those 10 minutes, Lisa?
You did perfect. Now we have more than 6 minutes for questions. So Stefania, do you mind helping us with the Q&A?
Yeah, not at all. I saw some great also information from Giselle Ortega. One of her comments was that her strategy to be more effectively and productive is, besides tracking the time, as Dolores suggested, set goals for the day, as well as you, Dolores, keep with your team. Mm-hmm. And we also have some questions. Do you have any suggestions for media earned records?
What do you mean by media earned records? Meaning leads? Just clarify. I think that was Sophia.
Yes, Sophia, if you can clarify for us. And then in the meantime, we have from Ileana, do you have any recommendations for a CRM tool?
Yes, and
fantastic. Yeah.
I'm going to put it in the chat right now. I'm putting it here. So there's a few. What we use is Simplero. And what I love about Simplero is that you can do all your email marketing. You can do on your online learning platform. You can do sales page, website, landing page, and all the payment processing. So it's like one tool that does all of it. Media tracking platforms. I'm not too familiar about media tracking, Sophia. I mean, there's one of the things, there's a company called Grow. I think it's grow.com. I was actually talking to the person who just bought it, actually. And Grow is a great platform. I think it's expensive, so it's for bigger companies, but it's a really, really good analytics platform for tracking your basically online or digital visibility. It gives you all of the data points on social media performance, trending, and growth.
Excellent. And Sophia, we will actually have on July, I think it's the 1st of July, and that Wednesday we will have marketing expert that will bring a lot of information. So I encourage you to sign up for the webinar that is going to be held by Laura as well.
Right.
Here's, feel free to ask for any more questions. Dolores, one that is always something that people look forward to is what would be your #1 book recommended for entrepreneurs?
There's many. I'm trying to think if it's inspirational or is it tactical. Actually, no, here's a book that I love. And what I love about it is that, so as an entrepreneur, we think that we have tactical problems, but really in reality, we don't have tactical problems because you can pretty much Google anything you can think of. What we have is mindset problems. So this book is called Train Your Brain, and the entrepreneur wins when they believe that they can win. You become successful when you truly believe that you can become successful. So I think if you master your mindset and you master your thoughts, then you can find all the answers for the tactical, strategic problems that you might have. The author of this book is Dana Wilde. If you go to mastersinclarity.com at Clarity TV, I interviewed Dana. She is wonderful. She also has a great podcast and a Facebook group. I love Dana. She is straightforward and she gives really practical tools to managing your thoughts and moving from fear to possibility.
Mm-hmm. Wow, love it. Thank you so much for that recommendation. Another question that came in, it says, where can we find information on the Google website?
Oh, you mean how to build a Google website? It's simple, actually. If you go into, I'll show you, actually. Can I show?
Yeah, absolutely. Take it away.
So if you go here, and I'm just if you go new, everybody can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Yes.
If you go new, you see Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Sites, more, Google Sites, create and share, and then you go here and you create a site. Obviously, the URL will not be pretty, but you can definitely create a very simple landing page in minutes.
That's amazing.
Perfect.
I was like so blown away. It was awesome.
They're making it easier and easier these days.
Yes. Yeah. And Dolores, it's so good to hear from you. Like, I was impressed when we first met, when you told Stephanie and I that you were working remotely for so long and being successful for 30 years. So it's very good. Like, thank you so much for sharing all of your knowledge. If people want to like connect with you, they can join your websites that it's here at the screen. So thank you so much. And I just want to invite everyone for our next episode that it's on June 3rd with Maritza Coscarelli, where we'll be talking about how to bring your whole self to leadership. So continuing with this next. And Dolores, do you want to say anything else to us?
No, I really love spending time with you tonight. And if you guys want to meet, to hop on a clarity call and help you manage your transition in this world, you can just go to the link on the chat or just go to mastersinclarity.com and there's a big button that says start here and you can hop on a call. It's complimentary.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Dolores. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Alpha, thanks you very much. And we hope you have a wonderful evening.
We look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you so much.